You're on.
Oh, I'm switching on this thing.
I think it's on.
It's on? Can you hear me? My name's Robert Palmer. I'm seeking your vote for county commissioner. I am the father of 6 children, the grandfather of 7, and married to the prettiest lady in Christian County. I can prove that because I've got 6 children. I have a lot of experience that I bring to the table here. I've started 5 different corporations, 2 of them in Missouri, and having done that, I know what it takes to be successful, and I know what it takes for a county to drive people out of the county. So I hope that you'll look at my credentials and vote for me coming in August.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Snyder. I'm running for county commissioner here in Christian County. I'm a third generation county resident in Christian County. I've lived here for pretty much most of my life, except for my military service. I'm running for county commissioner because I enjoy working with the people. I love this county, and I see there's opportunity for growth, communication, and we can work with this county to provide better services for the residents of this county. My experience with this, I was served on city council with the city of Ozark, elected in 2009, re-elected in 2011. I served on the planning and zoning board as a liaison to the board of aldermen, as well as the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce in Ozark. On August 5th, I'd really like your vote, and I'd appreciate your vote when you.
Good evening, everybody. I really appreciate the involvement of the audience for being here and caring tonight. I'm Tom Kudamelka. I'm a native. I married a local girl. We're going to be married 30 years, September 14th. We raised almost raised 2 boys. We hope they'll be raised soon. And graduated from SMS. With a BS and BS, I mean general agriculture. And I want to be your presiding commission to bring common sense and conservative values to the courthouse. Government shouldn't do everything for everybody just because they want it. And that's one of my pet peeves. So I'll use common sense, and hopefully we can take care of some of the problems, maybe in even a better way than we do now.
Good evening. I'm Ray Weeder. I'm your current Eastern Commissioner, but I was born in Sparta, grew up in Christian County, and other than about 13 years refining my medical skills, have lived in Christian County all my life. Married to my wife, Sherry, back there. She's a California girl. Flying U Rodeo, Cotton Ross, her uncle, she's a rodeo gal. And Nathan, my son, is back there. Aaron, my daughter, is back there. And I do have another son. But what I've done, I've spent 40 years in healthcare. I've served the public night and day in that field, and that's literally true. And then 8 years in the Missouri House of Representatives, and the last 2 years as your Eastern Commissioner. So given my experience in the legislature and local government, I'm asking for your vote.
All right, we have a lot of audience questions up here, so I'm going to ask, just in the effort of saving time, if you would all mind if you just all stay seated and pass the mic back and forth.
Okay.
We'll start with Mr. Snyder on this first question. This is an audience question. How is the county going to step up to the plate and fund the sheriff's department? And on a side note, it's not the sheriff's job to find funding, it's the county's.
How are we going to step up and fund the sheriff's department? we're gonna have to look through the budget, and we're gonna have to look at controlled expenses in the sheriff's department. We're gonna have to work and communicate with the sheriff's department one-on-one throughout the whole year. When you work with a budget, you start at the beginning of the year, and you have to watch that budget completely throughout the entire year. And when you're working with any kind of business or government, you've got to work with those departments, communicate with those departments, and make sure that you're controlling those expenses on a monthly, quarterly, and annual basis. We're going to have to work hand in hand with the sheriff's department and make sure that we are controlling those expenses and using proper maintenance with everything we do.
Mr. Kudamelka, same question.
The budget has gone down $4 million in the last 2 years because of the lack of revenue. A lot of reasons. And the simple fact is, a lot of people, including the sheriff, think we ought to vote a new tax. Right now, and I'm not against taxes if the people can afford it, but right now, the way the economy is, there's a reason why that money went down, why that money has not been spent and the tax revenues are not coming in. Some of the things we could do, and then some of them are very small, we could have our custodians clean the bathrooms. Right now we have people that come in and do that. I understand we have some people that drive county vehicles home in the evening. We could cut that out, save some money. And I'm sure there's a lot of other things that when we look at them, we could find.
Mr. Reader, same question.
Thank you. Well, as far as the budget goes, the law enforcement area, back in 2012, we approved a budget of $4.267 million. 2014, our approved budget was $4.478 million. That's about a $200,000 increase, but it's not enough. And part of the reason is it's not enough is because the revenue stream has fallen off. When you index the sheriff's spending by month during the year, he is right on target as far as his allocated expenditures. He's not overspending. He's staying within his budget expenditures. Where he is falling short is the revenue. And it's going to be up to us to figure out where to make up that revenue. And there are some places to make it up. Thank you.
You'll pass it to Mr. Palmer.
Every time government gets involved in anything, they talk about raising taxes. They never talk about cutting expenses. Baseline budgeting has been one of the big problems that government does. And if you don't understand baseline budgeting, it's simply that you take this year's budget and you add 5%, and every year you add 5%, whether you need it or not. That kind of budgeting has to be stopped, and budgets set on in reality. The sheriff is an essential need in the county, but there are other non-essential things that the government is providing, and that's where you need to start looking at tightening up the belt.
Okay, we'll pass the mic over to Mr. Kudamelka. This question is just for you. Earlier today, you said that you just want to make the county better. If you win the election, what specifically will you make better?
Well, probably my top priority is that the distribution of road funds be reversed back to what it was for the 28 years that particular tax was already collected. As long as you have an intergovernmental agreement, John Housley says it is not illegal to distribute funds that way, which means you decide how many dollars you're going to distribute, and then you divide it by how many miles of road each entity has, and each mile of road gets the same amount for that year or for that month. Another way would be, I think I will push to give back for days that the sick days that the commission has taken away from the employees. They've cut them down to 4 sick days a year, and that's just not enough.
Okay, Mr. Weeder, this is a question from the audience. You say you have 2 years on the commission and 8 years as state representative. In fact, you did not complete your last term as state representative and hope to vacate the Eastern Commission seat midterm. What's your response to that?
My response is I completed every regular legislative session that by statute I was allowed to complete, and that was 8, plus some additional special sessions. And the situation as far as vacating the Eastern District seat now is we're going to have an opening for presiding commissioner, and that's not going to go away. And I think I'm the guy, having sat there for 2 years, that I need to move into that seat so I can continue the policies that we've started.
Since you're talking about that, I'm just going to keep the mic with you. Another question from the audience is, if elected presiding commissioner, do you care that the governor will replace you and it won't be the people's choice? And this person says, I don't want to hear that the law says you can do this.
Okay, I won't tell you that. I will tell you what your question basically says. I was not the people's choice when the governor appointed me. Now, so far I think it's worked out pretty well because I did win the subsequent election. And to say that it's not the people's choice is I mean, that, you know, that's something you can say, but it worked out this time.
Pass the mic down to Mr. Palmer, please. Mr. Palmer, you made eliminating regulations as part of your campaign. Name a regulation and please be specific you would eliminate, and how would you do it?
Any regulation that makes it more difficult for a business to start up in Christian County and drives jobs out of our county. That is what causes us to have budget shortfalls. So it's really difficult to come up and say one regulation when there's hundreds. Building and safety could be streamlined, made much more simple. We do not need an international building code being dictated to us by the United Nations. We need a local code that meets our local needs and desires. It is not a little job, it is a huge job. And I am the only one sitting here that has background and knowledge of that United Nations building code that we're now using. And that's one of my first things that I would go after.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Snyder, you have mentioned that planning and technology is some of the county's most pressing problems. What would you plan for, and what kind of technology do you think is being underutilized?
I think planning, we need to plan our future budgets, and we need to look at the long term, 3 to 5 years down the road for our roads and our development on our roads and infrastructure. With that, on the, can you repeat that second part of that question?
What would you plan for, and what kind of technology is being underutilized?
The kind of technology being underutilized, our computer system is almost inundated. If you go onto the county website and look at other surrounding counties, we're not near the ability to utilize our website as others have been. And along with that, the communication that is available to use on that website, we're underutilizing it. I think we can utilize that better to communicate to the constituents.
All right, we're going to start Mr. Kudamelka this time. This question is for everyone from the audience. What is your position on the road tax distribution to the municipalities?
Well, I believe I've already covered that. I absolutely believe it should be shared and shared alike on every mile of road within the county as it was intended in 1985 when this was voted on. And I will work with the other commissioners and try to accomplish that.
Mr. Weeder?
Well, there are municipalities and their political subdivisions. Special road districts are, I believe, are political subdivisions. Municipalities would be cities. But I have said many times that the cure to this problem is for the people, the citizens, to put together a ballot initiative, get it back, bring it to the county commission, get the wording correct, and put it to another vote. I won't stand in the way of that. I will say that if we go back to doing what we were doing, the special road, or not the special road districts, but your common road districts are going to lose revenue, personnel, and you're going to lose services.
Mr. Palmer?
Now, the common road districts have always suffered on that end, particularly the further we get out from the city center. The thing that needs to be done is that our road systems need to be looked at and our roads built properly in the first place. There are simple standard works standards that roads are normally built to, and I've watched housing developments go in and see the roads falling apart in 1 to 2 years. That's simply unacceptable. It's a waste of our taxpayer money. If it's done right in the first place, it lasts, and we don't spend as much money out patching potholes and so we just need to correct and have a road department that is held to the fire and does things correctly.
Same question.
With the road funding, the spending, the money needs to be allocated back to the residents that pay those taxes in those zoning, in those districts, the special roads, the commons, the municipalities. The money needs to go back where it's going to provide the services to the residents. One way that could have been done is I believe the county could have communicated with the municipalities and the road districts better and work with them on getting the money back to those districts. I think that you need to step out, as a commissioner, you need to step out there and lend a helping hand to the municipalities, the road districts, all the entities throughout the county, and work together throughout the county.